Hanagriff, Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Good afternoon and welcome to Hangin with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. You're listening with us up on 1130 The Tiger. That's fantastic, too. If you're watching YouTube, you're watching with us on CST, thank you for being with us. Cade Wazee on the audio board, Paul O'Neill on the video board. And with Bomber pilot Jacob Hester, I am Charles Hanagriff. You brought the big guns today, right?
I did.
You just had it with the temperature
I
in here.
refuse for the temperature to alter my job here like it's been doing the last couple of days, so I went bomber jacket with sweatshirt inside of it.
So for those of you that haven't been following this continuing story, the engineers at Guarantee Media have attempted to freeze the talent and the producers right out of this beautiful studio that they built for us, keeping the temperatures at a refrigerator level. So we have we've taken the appropriate measures. We think we started out small. We went to long sleeves, and then we went to pullovers. That didn't work. You've come in here in the hoodie, but in the interest of the presentation of the show, taking the hoodie off. Okay,
during the segments.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't look like the Unabomber, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we've gone full-fledged here in the last week as the temperatures outside have dropped. The temperatures in here have dropped even more, as if that were possible.
Yeah. Like, what in the hell? How does that happen?
And we understand that the listening audience is tired of hearing about this, but I thought I would explain
if it wasn't
your appearance today, and then we'll shut up about it.
Okay, but if it wasn't a COVID situation and we could have our normal, our people who are loyal listeners, our P1s, I would invite like 2 every single day to come in here and sit with us. Just
you got
so
to sit for a little while, though. Yeah, it's not like you walk in and you're in the free. It kind of. I did have a good friend of mine yesterday said, he goes, listen, I don't want to spend any real time in the building. He goes, but you think you can sneak me up there because I need to see what y'all are talking about? Yeah. Are y'all just being weak, or y'all?
No. I keep my air conditioner on like 68 at all times.
I mean, think about who you're talking. Take me out of the equation, okay? You call me a wimp, whatever. You got no frame of reference here. This guy, okay, one of the toughest players ever to put on a helmet and shoulder pads. I mean, go rewind the 2007 Florida tape. But if that wasn't enough, played professional football in Denver. Okay. Denver, Colorado, where it snows in December and where the ground is concrete, and he's telling you that he's colder in here than I am.
Yeah. Blame Gordy. He's mad because
I don't blame Gordy because
bucket.
Gordy comes in here on Wednesday nights for Tiger Zone, and it's cold. Okay. So there's an engineer. We have him, and thankfully he's smaller than us.
Yeah.
And there's a movement afoot to duct tape his hands and feet together and stick him in the freezer that we have. We've got a walk-in freezer here in the basement.
We do.
And we're going to put him in there for 3 hours one day. And we're going to monitor it to make sure he doesn't, go into any kind of real. Well, we're going to make him
That used to be the morgue, so you're probably right. We probably do need to check on him.
All right, we're done complaining. That's the beginning.
Well,
of the show.
Complaining about that.
We're done. Yeah,
I mean, we still got a game coming up tomorrow in Gainesville that we'll probably complain about.
Yeah, we're going to complain about that a little bit today and probably a lot on Monday. Looks like LSU's got a new starting quarterback. 7.
It's going to be Max. We haven't made the final decision yet, but Max has been practicing with the first team and TJ with the second set of reps. We can go either way, but it looks like it's going to be Max. But we have not made the final decision. We're going to tell them tomorrow.
Well, if Max has been taking
Max
snaps with the ones,
I
mean, come on.
And it's good. It's good to hear that. And I want to reiterate every time I say this because I don't want it to sound like I'm calling for TJ to be benched. That's not really the case. It's just I'm calling for Max to be able to have a start because you're going to play both of them. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to play both of them like they've shown they want to, allow Max to come into the game at the start and not in a bad situation like he's come in really almost every time he's come in.
Right.
And I'm sure TJ probably play at some point in Gainesville. I don't think there's any question he'll play. But Max now has the opportunity. He's thrown with the ones. He's been behind the one offensive line all week. He's handed it off to the run. I mean, he's done all that stuff that gets him a couple of extra reps to prepare to be the starter for this game.
You were on the 04 team. The 04 team played 2 quarterbacks.
I played 3.
Okay, but really, Marcus Randall and Jamarcus Russell were, for a while there, were back and forth. And I want to say they both started multiple games.
I did.
More than one. And it was a kind of a go to the hot hand type of deal. Like in the opener, Russell came in and rallied you guys, beat Oregon State. That was the rain game. And then got a start maybe 4 weeks later against Florida, came out through a couple of interceptions, got yanked. Marcus Randall came in, rallied the team for a win, played really well. And it was back and forth, and you're right. By the time the season got into the second part of it, into the latter stages of it, and especially in the bowl game, Matt Flynn had become a part of that rotation. So what kind of I don't want to say what kind of a toll does it take, but what kind of a dynamic is it when there's really not one guy that has taken control of this thing, and it's like we're going to go with the hot hand like you would put a shooter in basketball, except it's different.
Right.
So what's that dynamic like?
It is a little difficult when you have quarterbacks that are different. Like Imran and Jamarcus were different. The ball came out of their hands differently. I mean, Jamarcus had one of the strongest arms I've ever seen, right? So you had to know that when you ran your flat routes, when you ran a curl route, you had to know it's coming and it's coming hot. The communication in the huddle was completely different. They call plays differently. The cadence was different. Now, in 2020 college football, it's not really something you have to worry about because a lot of things are on silent count. A lot of things are on the clap. They're not really, verbally.
Do they clap different?
Yeah, right. Hey, your clap sounds a little bit different than the other. But, that was something because Imran and Jamarcus, they had completely different cadences. And then when Matt came in, it was different as well. So all 3 of those guys were different. I guess Imran and Matt were more comparable than with Jamarcus, but it's something you have to be aware of. It's definitely something that, as a player, you've got to know who's in a quarterback. You have to know what he does different than the guy that was just in there before. So it's not, it's not impossible by any means, but you have to be aware of it. You have to know exactly who is in and in what situation.
So 2 things are in play here for Max Johnson. Number one, it being his first start. We have not seen him in a game where the score is 0-0, where the sequence of play calling may be dictated by the score. We get to see him with a fresh sheet of paper here. The other thing is it's his first start. It's on the road. It's not the real Swamp, but it's still on the road. And we saw T.J. Finley really struggle in his first road start at Auburn. Was it because it was on the road, or was it because Kevin Steele came up with a really effective plan and it was just a better team they were facing? I'll let you speak to that. But those 2 things, I think, are the pregame storylines with Johnson to me.
Yeah, I can't tell you how valuable it is just to kind of prepare as a starter as well. Like, so if I'm facing Kevin Steele, like I want to know exactly what's going on, and I want the most attention from the coaches. I want the most attention when the game plan's going in, because obviously you're both in there, but the coaches, they got to get the starter ready. You know what I'm saying? So if they have a little tidbit here in the week, well, who are they going to tell that to? They're going to tell it to the starter. They're going to make sure he's coached up. They're going to try to do it for the entire quarterback room, but this is an opportunity against a very attacking defense. You have to know, where every guy is with Ty Grantham. He'll send anybody anytime, right? And Dan Mullen has kind of gotten angry with him on the sideline a time or two. He sent too many guys. But, little things like that when you're able to be the starter and you know that. So
with all of that in mind, what kind of an outing are you expecting from Max? Now, you've seen Florida's defense. This is an unbelievable offensive team. Defensively, they've been hot and cold, and probably more cold than hot.
Yeah, they've kind of been in the middle of the road when you look at exactly, the rush defense, the pass defense. Neither one of those stands out, good or bad. They've kind of been in the middle of the league, so you can take advantage. The thing that they have continued to do that they have not gotten fixed yet is busted coverages, kind of like LSU, right? There's guys that are on the screen with no defender around him, and they haven't really been able to figure that out, and it continues to happen. And sometimes when you have a defense that has as many moving parts as Todd Grantham does, I mean, that's going to happen when you have young players. But it's even older players. It's like Marco Wilson is a guy who's played a lot of football in the conference. He's a good player. He's going to play on Sundays probably for a long time. But even when you turn on the tape, I mean, he'll have a lot of coverages that I can't exactly tell you what it is because you've got three guys doing something different. So they will give up an explosive play behind you. This is a defense that is going to get after the quarterback, though. When you look at the sack totals, they're up there towards the top of the league. And like I said, they're not going to just bring four. I mean, they're bringing multiple guys from multiple places. And so that's why, to me, if you were going to play Max, it was important to get him the starting reps because the pocket's going to look a little different this week. And you and I have talked about this. The one thing I think TJ Finley needs to continue to work on is his movement in the pocket. He does have a spot that he likes to stand still in, and when you give a spot to the defense, they're going to attack it. Max in the pocket has done a little bit better job as far as moving around and finding creases to throw the football. So maybe that's something that the LSU coach has talked about and wanted to start Max because of it.
We're brought to you by Smalls Sliders. Slide on through Nicholson at East Boyd for delicious, freshly made sliders, fries, and shakes, and holiday gift cards going on right now here. Just a little bit of time left, 2 weeks before Christmas. Is 2 weeks from today. Great stocking stuffer. You can just drive right on through, slide right on through.
Here's the real problem, though. Let's be honest. If I go over there and I get the gift cards, can I hold on to them until Christmas?
You know what I find? You put them in an envelope, seal the envelope, and put somebody's name on it. It's kind of like putting the fries. You know, how do you keep from eating the fries before you go home? You put them in a trunk.
Yeah,
so it's about it. You put it in the trunk, and you can't, or put it just somewhere where you can't reach them. Try that.
Okay,
best I can
see if it works.
Best I can do. Small Sliders, Nicholson and East Boyd, just a short drive off the LSU campus. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com. You know, got a call from my friend Greg Price over at GMFS, and he says, listen, I want you to know that this is the 14th time this week, the 14th time in 2020 that the interest rates have been at their lowest point ever. I thought to myself, and here it was. I was thinking 2020 didn't have very much good to it. Well, here's one positive that you can look at. So if you're looking to buy a new home and your purchasing power right now is at an all-time high, if you're looking to refinance your home, you can impact your monthly budget, lower your monthly note, lower the amount of time that you have on your overall mortgage. If you need a construction loan, that way you can add on to your home without having to relocate. If you're adding to your family, they can help you with that as well. Do what I did. Do what thousands of others have done. Their motto is, we are changing lives. When they change your monthly budget for the better, they're definitely going to be changing your lives. So start your financial journey today at GMFSmortgage.com.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
The winner is the dog with antioxidant vitamin C.
Given the choice, why wouldn't you choose the one with antioxidant vitamin C? Choose Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. but it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hey, T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens.
The high school football playoffs continue, and we got you covered starting tonight at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High and Brother Martin kick off at 7, and we wrap things up with a full 2 hours of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show at 10 on YouTube, CST, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we're brought to you by Smalls Sliders. Slide on through for delicious sliders, fries, and shakes. Just off the LSU campus, Nicholson, Eddie's, Boyd, and holiday gift cards with bonuses. A little 10% bonus there when you purchase a Smalls Sliders gift card. We bring in Peter Burns now from the SEC Network. Peter, good afternoon. Oh, sorry.
We lost him, I guess.
Oh, man.
Oh, good.
First hiccup of today's show. Well, we should run down the rest of the lineup. Then Tim Brando will be with us at 1 o'clock today. Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South will be with us at 2 o'clock. Our picks, those of you interested in fading. I don't know, was that 3-3 last week?
Unless you want to hit that money line double-digit underdog, I'm 3 for 3.
I'm officially paying attention to you on that now.
Okay.
I'm officially looking at what's the word that gamblers value.
Okay.
There's some value to your play there. You had Coastal last week.
I did.
Yeah, 10-point dog, one straight up.
Yeah. I think I was 3-3 on the week.
You were 3-3. I was 2-4.
And if Deshaun Watson catches the snap and they score, 4-2.
So our picks are coming up at 2:30. First class, second class, no class at 1:15. Now we got Peter. Peter, good afternoon. How are you?
What's up, boys? We're doing well, getting closer to a hopefully upset LSU victory over Florida. Can I even sell that? Are you buying any?
You're just hoping you don't have to wear that Tiger outfit on Monday's show.
It's already been ordered. I already know it's happening. It's fine. I've come to that conclusion. It's life is going to go on.
What are you doing making bets on LSU in a year like this?
Well, he made it last year too. Come on, hey, Hanny.
It's an annual.
Hanny, have some pride. You got to do it no matter what.
I mean, well, there's.
I'm team content. You guys know that. I'll say anything.
There's no value in the thing, but okay, I got it. Peter, yesterday the league announced a 10-year deal with the SEC and ESPN. To be honest with you, the timing of the deal was a little bit surprising to me. This was a deal that we knew was coming down. The question mark was ESPN going to buy CBS out of the remainder of their deal, the final 3 years of their deal? And I thought when they call a press conference that might be what they were talking about. But for the consumer now, kind of explain what this deal means for your ability to watch college football and basketball.
Well, yeah, I mean, what it's going to do is going to create so much more flexibility, for everything that covers the SEC, and that's why it was such a big deal. Is because, like traditionally we've been on these like 10-day windows to figure out, okay, who's going to do what, and that's tough for whenever you want to come into town, you want to make plans on what you're going to do with the kids and go to a game. And so now ESPN will be able to take a look with ABC and go, okay, we have the rights to not just every other game other than the number one game. We'll have every game underneath our umbrella, which is clutch. And we know how it is. I mean, for LSU fans, a home game, it only is right when it's a night game in Death Valley, right? And now ESPN will have the flexibility and ABC will have the flexibility to put those games on at night as much as they want. So I think that's big. There were some times where, let's say if we had College Game Day, we wanted to go to a place or have more access of what's going on at the game, but CBS would have the rights to it, so we wouldn't be able to do it as much justice as we would like to. So honestly, it's a huge win for ABC, and we'd love to say that it would come out before 2024, but never say never. I mean, I don't think it's a complete done deal, but everything's negotiated at a price, right?
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. Hey, PB, one of the things that I found interesting was the ESPN Plus aspect of this. We'll have the right to stream one non-conference football game and two non-conference men's basketball games per SEC school. I love ESPN Plus. It's something I use every single weekend. You pull up multiple games. That's just another part where you're advancing in the streaming service.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately you look at what's going on with like Disney Plus. I mean, not to get too far into the weeds of the business aspect of it, but the idea is going straight to the consumer sooner or later, and I would imagine that's the way that it is for a Netflix and an Amazon. And Disney Plus is starting to release some of their movies just straight to Disney as opposed to movie theaters. So it's only going to get a matter of a time of whether it's 10, 20 years down the road or just 5 years down the road that you're going to go straight to ESPN and the app to watch any ball games on there. So I think this is the first step towards that. And, as streaming technology gets a little bit better, you're going to see more and more people continue to do this and not have to pay a boatload of money for a cable bill of 200 some odd channels that don't really bring stuff to the table.
Hey, and another aspect of this that I think is pretty cool, Commissioner Sankey said schools will be allowed to set the kickoff times for those games shown on ESPN+.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about flexibility, and really that's what it comes down to, because right now you're kind of at your network's contracts, you're beholden to them on, hey, what time and what window, and it seems like every single week we announce, hey, this game is going to be played at this time, and all I hear from people is going, oh, can you believe that? Like, this game is going to be played at this time. And
right.
Really no longer will you have to have those conversations. I think everybody wins in this situation. And the only thing I'm going to really miss is the CBS theme music, man. That is like one of the soundtracks of my life, especially, once, LSU really started playing really well and really good. It was nice to have those games.
And they actually made that a part of the announcement, which you don't really think about that, except the music is so iconic that they actually I'll tell you the deal I thought about, Peter, was when Al Michaels went to NBC and ABC wanted something in return, and so NBC gave him the rights to Oswald the Rabbit, this cartoon character from 75 years ago. And I was thinking to myself, so what can ESPN give CBS that they want for the music? It would just be so much better. There's got to be something somewhere. What do you want? You want $1 million? You want $10 million?
No, I vote Greg McElroy. If we can give Greg McElroy CBS, it'll make my life a whole lot easier, and I'll be a whole lot happier.
I'm going to let you negotiate my next contract. That's a good idea.
Well, I mean, so when you think about it, too, ESPN has a lot of television rights to different leagues, and I'm sure CBS, I mean, they're gonna look over the next couple of years and figure out, hey, what league are we going to start broadcasting? Because I can't imagine they're going to get out of the college football space altogether. So I would, maybe it's a situation where they come down the road and say, hey, let's negotiate. We'll do this a year earlier than expected, but we would like to get some of the rights to some games that ESPN has. Maybe that's a conversation. I mean, who knows? I mean, again, it's, Commissioner Greg Sankey says we're willing to play this out all the way to 2024, and by 2024, I would imagine we'll have a lot of focus groups to say, hey, here's the new song or whatever. I want Bubba Sparks back from College Game Day. Remember the Bubba Sparks?
Yeah.
A little known fact that was told to me today, Matt Stinchcomb said that Andy Mathis is Bubba Sparks' real name.
Yeah.
Bubba Sparks used to sleep on Matt Stinchcomb's couch during college. How about that for a small world?
This is just information that you can't get anywhere else. I mean,
That's
come
right.
on.
That's where his career began, right there on Stinch's couch. Hey, PB, since we do have you, since there's a lot of things going on with LSU football, and we've talked about it in length, obviously, kind of from afar, how does LSU, after this year, get it back on track, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, you get it back on track by just having a normal year. What I mean by that is you have a good recruiting class, and you hope that on the 16th you're able to keep going to the names that you've already committed because it's a damn good recruiting class. But then I think normalcy will help. And again, I think at this point having a full spring and having guys be able to have a normal year where you can team build is going to be monster. I mean, you got to realize there were so many new faces on this team, as you guys know, and they didn't have a traditional off season. They didn't have really a kind of a traditional team building year as well, too. So, I think, listen, everybody likes to have some fun at the expense of LSU right now, and that's what happens when you're a national title holder. I mean, it happened to Clemson when they first got out there. It happens to Alabama every single year. I mean, and I think now LSU fans are realizing, hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Everybody wants to come after it. So, again, is it worrisome? Yes. But I guess if things are going to happen of all years, let it be this year so you can, kind of recalibrate and get ready for 2021.
You're so right, man. Every time Alabama loses, and I'm as guilty of this as anybody, but it's, as they shouted out with glee, down tide. I mean, everybody just has a great time at their expense. It's a great point, Peter.
Hey, let's get off this before Bo comes in and says roll tide.
Oh, dude, last time, again, she is on a self-imposed bottle ban. And Disney Plus ban after what he did to me on this show last time.
That's right. Well, give her our best, even though I agree with the ban.
Just here's the deal. Just be paying attention on the last hour of SEC this morning, coming up on Monday morning. So I don't know if I'll be wearing the Tiger King gear. I guess I will, but
hey, we still got hope. We still got hope that Doring will be wearing it.
It's $1 and a dream, baby. That's all I need.
See you, PB.
Peter, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Later, boys.
All right. Peter Burns from the SEC.
I mean, whoever loses that bet has to dress up as Tiger King. And I don't know if you saw it last year. So Doring obviously lost the bet, and he had to dress up like Mr. Peanut. I mean, he had a monocle, the whole deal. I mean,
the hat, the glasses,
the hat,
the whole deal,
the cane,
yeah.
everything. And I was actually on the bureau cam across at the athletic building, and I was interviewing with them like I do on Mondays, but I couldn't see him, and I just heard him chuckling the whole interview. I'm like, what is going on? And so I find out, and then I rush home and I try to pull it up on demand so I could see it. And it's bad enough that he had to do the show wearing that. He had to interview Will Muschamp while wearing this ridiculous outfit. And I think Will could actually see him. So Tiger King coming up this Monday for one of Peter Burns or Doring.
You see that and you go, okay, explain. And you just know somebody's lost a bet somewhere. We're brought to you by Smalls Sliders. Slide on through on Nicholson at East Boyd, just off the LSU campus, as you get delicious sliders, freshly made fries and shakes, plus holiday gift cards right now. Guarantee you give somebody a gift card from Sliders, okay, and you're going to get an extra 10% on these deals.
Yeah.
So you get that card for them. I promise you it will be used. I promise you it will be enjoyed. You won't have to worry about your gift being discarded, being put in the bottom of a closet somewhere. It will be used. So get those gift cards right now. They'll be appreciated. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, brought to you by Garcia Roofing. Every single day, you always hear me talk about the free roof inspection and what it did for me. Remember, you can fill that out right there online. Go to GarciaDidMyRoof.com. top right corner of the homepage. Click on free roof inspection. Absolutely free roof inspection by experienced professionals. Determine whether roof damage needs to be repaired or replaced. Detailed project breakdown and cost estimate for repairs or replacement. I tell you, man, they give you an itemized list of exactly what you need, and they also show you pictures of what you need so you know that you need the work done, and they're going to back it up with that Garcia guarantee, Hanny.
You know, and so many different types that you can choose from, the shingle roofing or metal roofing, slate roofing, Spanish tile roofing, and they can dress it up in so many different ways. Gutter helmets, chimney caps, metal awnings, scroll work. It's all available for you in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, and on the North Shore. Roof now and pay later. Online, it's GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Get into a 20 Highlander for $4,600 off MSRP. Come on down to Happy Town for
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele previews the biggest games. Jay Ducote with the tailgate segment. The Riot Radio Hours return. Join us. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Today's show brought to you in part by Supreme Rice and SupremeRice.com. Make Supreme Rice a part of your holiday menu. It'd be for gumbo, some etouffee, some stew, just regular old rice and gravy. We had it for our holidays. Supreme Rice, easy to pick up at all of your Walmarts, all your Costco's, all of your AG food dealers. And, of course, it's available in the brown rice, the long grain, and the jasmine in up to 5-pound bags. Support our Louisiana farmers down in Crowley, Louisiana since the 1930s. You know, you keep a business going for approaching 100 years. You're doing something right. And all of their rice is grown, milled, and processed down in southwest Louisiana. So give them a try. Look for Supreme Rice when you plan your next meal and have that food dollar go a little bit further with Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com. So we're going to do SEC true or false here.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has, and it's going to.
We've had a couple other things go on that we've reacted to.
So we may not get past the first one, because I'm going to ask it to you this way, and I already know what you're going to say, but I want you to expound on it because we're a radio with 3-hour show. The question is: has there ever been a more anticlimactic weekend in the history of SEC football? Or true or false? Stay on theme here.
True.
Yeah. This is the most anticlimactic weekend in the history of LSU football. There's not a single thing on the line this weekend. And in my mind anyway, I have covered SEC football, SEC basketball, and SEC baseball for going on 3 decades. And I can never remember a weekend where none of the games mattered. I mean, literally none of the games mattered. We used to talk about it every year when we were doing baseball. Part of the pregame show was always that we would give the standings, and we would talk about who was in the SEC tournament, who as we got toward the end of the year, who was in the SEC tournament, who was in the catbird seat to have a top 8 national seed or host a regional or just get in the NCAA tournament. And there's a lot of that that goes on in basketball too. This team's in the tournament. This team is on the bubble. And in football, there's the last weekend of the regular season. Are you kidding me? Rivalry weekend. There's always a ton going on. And we used to always say at the end of baseball, when we give the standings, but it's going to come down to the last weekend. And it always did. The last weekend, I can count on one hand the number of times that the conference title was decided going into the last weekend or regional sites or anything. There was always something on the line. I look at this and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but short of Arkansas pulling off one of the biggest upsets in the biggest upset in SEC history, or LSU pulling off one of the biggest upsets in SEC history, I can't think of a single thing that's on the line. I mean, we are watching pretty close to scrimmage football this weekend. We are. I mean, you're watching scrimmage football. Yeah. What is scrimmage football? Scrimmage football is go out there and let's see what happens, and let's try some things, and if we win, we win, and if we don't, we don't. I mean, everybody's trying to win, don't get me wrong, but does it really make a difference who wins between Tennessee and Vandy?
No.
We don't have bowl games on the line here. We don't have eligibility on the line here. The coaches that were on the hot seat have been fired with the possible exception of Gus Malzahn, and he's always on the hot seat.
If Gus loses to Mike Leach in Mississippi State, potentially maybe, but would you bet
would you bet your life that if Auburn wins this weekend, Gus won't be fired anyway? I mean, I wouldn't.
No,
I don't think he will, but it's Auburn. Who knows?
The one game that had some juice to it was Ole Miss traveling to College Station for me,
which has been
that one got postponed, but canceled. They got canceled because they're playing Tennessee,
potentially postponed
next week.
Reschedule.
But that's a game that had some juice to me because I would have liked to seen if it got into a scoring duel, if Kellen Mond and that offense, just the way it's built, if it could have kept up with Ole Miss, or if Ole Miss would have had the success offensively against that defense that's playing really well. And of course, A&M's vying for a playoff spot, so Ole Miss could ruin that. That would have been intriguing to me in that game. We're not going to get.
And we asked for this, okay? We begged for this because we were put in that position because we were shut down, forever. It was just give me games, just give me games. Yeah. I don't care if they mean anything or not. Okay, congratulations. Here are some games that mean absolutely nothing. That's where we are. Now, I'm going to watch. I like watching football. I like watching SEC football. I'll I'll watch with a little bit of interest whether Missouri can give Georgia.
I was about to say,
run.
let's do this. Let's, instead of being Debbie Downer during this segment, let's try to throw some juice into these games. Alabama and Arkansas, we can't do that. I understand that. Georgia, Missouri. Okay, it's a nice story. Missouri's ranked now. A lot of people probably don't even realize that. Eli Drinkwitz has got some confidence. If you follow him on Twitter, he's got some real confidence right now. They just flipped a big-time recruit. Okay, if Georgia loses this game to Mizzou, what's that staff look like next year? What happens there? Because it was championship or bust, and if you lose 3 games in the conference, it gets a little sticky there. Okay, so that's something to watch, and Eli Drinkwitz might be the SEC Coach of the Year. Tennessee and Vanderbilt. If Vanderbilt beats Tennessee, could Jeremy Pruitt be on his way out? His seat's warm. It's not hot, but it's warm. If Vandy beats you,
okay, I'll buy that. Actually, I should have let you ask the questions here. If you lose to what appears to be, if not the worst team in SEC history, certainly in the conversation, the 2020 Vanderbilt Commodores, coachless, turmoil inside the program, and already playing with a lack of talent compared to the rest of them. Yes, if Jeremy Pruitt were to lose to Vanderbilt, I could see him getting fired Sunday morning. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. See, I should have let you. I should have let you ask the question.
All right, and same thing. We just mentioned it with Auburn and Mississippi State. That's something to pay attention to there. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen, but that would be an embarrassing loss for Auburn, and they could potentially make a move. Now, the game that we'll be paying attention to the most, LSU and Florida, if you want to find things to watch, well, kind of do like you did last week. Everyone I talked to said, I understand what this game is. What I'm going to watch is which young guys step up that I can get excited about for the next football season. Keishawn Butte was that guy for a lot of people. I mean, we've been excited for John Emery. We just keep hoping and wishing that he would get the ball 20 times in a singular game, okay?
And he can't because of the offensive line.
Right.
Or they can't run the ball 20 times.
Okay, so Max Johnson, here it is. This is your first start. You were a big-time recruit. You've got a big-time recruit coming in next year. You've got Miles Brennan coming back next year. Let's see what that competition is going to look like in the spring. Can you put yourself in that competition with TJ and the rest of the guys that I just mentioned, okay? So there's something to watch. And is it great that we're sitting here and you're a 24-point dog to Florida and that's what we're talking about? No, but that's where you are. That's where it is right now. And so that's something that you try to pay attention to.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And on Monday it'll be it was what it was. Brought to you by Small Sliders. Slide on through for great sliders, fries, and shakes. They'll be on Nicholson and East Boyd, just a short drive off the LSU campus, and holiday gift cards now available. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, brought to you by Richards Honda every single day, the title sponsor of our show here. And you can always find them online at richardshonda.com where you can do it all. Remember, Happy Honda Days is going on. Make sure you go to the website in the bottom left corner. You pull it up. It tells you how long you have left to save. We always encourage you to go see them at 13413 Millerville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge, I-12 and Millerville, with over 700 new and pre-owned vehicles priced to move on the lot. Anytime we talk about Richards Honda, we tell you they've got something for everyone. No matter where you're at family-wise, no matter what your lifestyle is, they've got you covered. If you're looking for a car, they have the Accord, the Civic, and the Fit. You know they have a full line of hybrids, the Accord Hybrid, the Clarity Plug-in Hybrid, the Insight, the CR-V Hybrid, which is that midsize SUV. Speaking of midsize SUV, CR-V, HRV, and Passport, the Odyssey minivan, the full-size Pilot, the Ridgeline truck, something for everybody over at Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, Your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The high school football playoffs continue, and we got you covered starting tonight at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High and Brother Martin kick off at 7. And we wrap things up with a full 2 hours of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show at 10 on YouTube, CST, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And brought to you by Smalls Sliders. Slide on through for delicious sliders, fries, and shakes. And, of course, holiday gift cards available with the bonus right now at Smalls. May slide on through on my way home. It's an easy drive. Just slide on through over there.
It's a dangerous drive home for you and I because it's hard to pass it up. In fact,
you're wondering what to get me for Christmas, right there.
No, that was a ever so subtle hit there.
Not quite so subtle. Saints and the Eagles on Sunday as New Orleans tries to go for the 3-game sweep and a 3-game road trip. And Drew Brees was at practice yesterday, only stretched and went through the lineup lines. But was not dressed out, so we're expecting Taysom Hill to get the start at quarterback, of course. So this makes now for Sean Payton, since he's been the Saints head coach. I don't want to count the 2 games that Drew Brees sat out because they had their spot in the playoff clinched. The other games that he has coached without Drew Brees, 5 with Teddy Bridgewater. Now 3 with Taysom Hill. And in the one game where he missed at Carolina where Luke McCown had a terrific day, Saints lost a close game. So make him 8-1 with a very solid performance in the one loss. And he's been really good at plugging in quarterbacks. This was Peyton when he was asked about that success.
You have to have gathered the right amount of information prior to that moment. In other words, training camp. Take Teddy. Teddy was last year. It was the training camp. It was the in-season work, and you kind of have an idea of maybe, all right, here's some of the things that he does well, and then what do we need to do well around him for him to be successful? Well, I said this in Seattle that first week Drew was hurt. I said, look, it's not – Teddy doesn't have to come out here and light this thing on fire, all right? But the rest of us, every one of us, has got to be on point. It'll take care of itself. And then all of a sudden the confidence began, and you saw that play out with him. And I would say in a similar fashion, different style, what are the things that make Taysom comfortable when he's back there? And that first game, there's always a lot of pressure on the player his first start. So 3 weeks ago, home versus Atlanta, there is that moment where I'm starting an NFL game, and then it begins to calm, if you will. And what are the things that we can do to calm it down for him?
I love what he said about Teddy Bridgewater and getting a game plan together early, like seeing what he does and knowing that you've got a book out just in case it's something, because you do have an older quarterback, right? Even though a guy that's been incredibly healthy, for the most part of his career, but hey, let's get a book out, because if this does happen, we know exactly what we want to do. We know what game plan we want to go with. That sounds like something that's easy, but I guarantee you teams don't have that big of a book. I can guarantee you, and I love Norv. I guarantee you Norv didn't have a book on Billy Volek and what Billy did best, and if Phillip went down, what we'd want to do game plan wise. I mean, that is overthinking, but it's not chasing ghosts. You're doing it for a reason.
Guy's a great coach.
He is.
I mean, he's a great coach. He has the same problem, and Mike Tomlin has the same problem that a lot of coaches at the college level have had for the last 15 to 20 years. They're really good. They're just not Nick Saban. Even a guy like Urban Meyer has won multiple national titles. I mean, great coach, but he ain't Saban. All right? Anybody that's won a national championship ain't Saban. Guys like Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, who have been at it a really long time and have a Super Bowl, right? But they're not Belichick. Well, that's not fair. This guy is a great football coach, all right? He really is. You hold an organization together and you win at the level that they have won, and you make a Super Bowl and another NFC championship game, and you've made the playoffs as many times as he has. And Tomlin, I feel the same way about. He's won a Super Bowl. He lost another one. He's been at the head of the Pittsburgh organization for right about I think 1 year less than Peyton has been there.
Right.
And the only thing you can say about him is they're not Belichick. Okay, well, damn. Is that the worst thing you can say about me?
Right.
When I think of Sean Payton, I think, man, this guy's got Hall of Fame credentials. He really does. I mean, if he stopped coaching, if he hung up his whistle tomorrow, he's a Hall of Fame coach. It may take him forever to get in there. If you're saying, well, I think he is, or I think he's not, or he definitely is, or he's definitely not. It's hard for coaches to get in the Hall of Fame. Jimmy Johnson, one of the best ever, right? 25 years after he won his last Super Bowl before he got in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he just got in this year.
Yeah.
It took forever. And Johnson won 2 Super Bowls, and you would be correct if you said set the team up to win a third.
Right.
Just had a falling out with the owner. But when I hear Peyton talk like that, it's like, I know Breeze is going to retire, and I know that they may have some cap problems next year. But as long as this guy's coaching, I feel real good about the Saints. Yeah, he's going to be impulsive at times. Yeah, he's going to, pull some things where he's going to throw a challenge flag, or maybe he shouldn't. There's going to be a game where he goes out there and throws the ball 55 times. You're like, Sean, man, what are you going to? But overall, this guy is one of the best coaches in the NFL, one of the top half dozen coaches in the NFL in the last quarter century.
Yeah, they've been consistent for a long time, which is so very difficult to do in the NFL. Even great coaches, at some point, they'll go on a bad run, and they've got to find their way out of it.
And his bad run was 7-9.
Exactly, and they've done a really nice job of staying relevant, staying in the playoff picture every single year, taking a franchise, let's call it, that was not a great franchise before he took over. Now
You're being so kind.
You can point to a couple of the Dome Patrol, but look, we all remember that so fondly because that was it. Like, that was the successful run there, under Jim Morris. So he takes this franchise, and now it's one of the most respected franchises. So not only is he a great coach, but he's done a really fantastic job of building this culture and building this locker room and building this, really, the front office, which he's been a part of. I mean, he's been with this front office for a long time. They've all built this together, and he's doing things each and every year that kind of surprise you. It's like, man, The guy went what with Teddy Bridgewater? He did what with Taysom Hill? It doesn't really matter who's in. He just goes out there, coaches them, and has success with whoever's in the lineup.
If you ask me, my number one confidence point in the Saints having success once 9 retires, it's him. And they've got a really good front office. They've got a really good roster that's set up right now. They've got an excellent culture. They have a good owner. You know how I feel about owners, okay? The owners are important. They have a good owner. All of that is good. All of that is fantastic to put all the pieces together. But the number one reason that I feel good about the Saints when Breeze hangs up his cleats is Sean Payton. Yeah. I don't know how long he's going to coach. You know, he may coach another 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Who knows? Still, a young man. But that guy's awesome, and we gloss over it a lot. I mean, as guilty as anybody. That guy's great. He's really great. Take a break. Tim Brando when we come back. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, brought to you by Small Sliders. Slide on through East Boyd at Nicholson for great sliders, freshly made, and fries and shakes. This is Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 2, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. If you're with us on 1130, The Tiger up in Shreveport, welcome in on a Friday afternoon. You're watching along with us on CST or on YouTube. We're bringing our good friend Tim Brando now. Timmy B, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. In Big Ten country, we've got the battle for the Heartland Trophy, which is a big pig, a big golden pig that they fought for between the Badgers and the Hawkeyes. Got that one tomorrow at 2:30 with Spencer Tillman as our season winds down. A couple of weeks of this left, and this unprecedented year will be in our rearview mirror. But I will tell you what we've had. We've been very fortunate. We've only missed one game. We've only had one game called off, and that's pretty good. We've managed to stay positive and test negative and make all our games.
Tim, yesterday the SEC and ESPN announced a 10-year deal for football. You tweeted out something that I was certainly thinking, which is that the timing of this was a little bit unusual. Most people knew that this deal was coming down and that it might be for a buyout of the remainder of the CBS contract. And I know you work for the other guys, okay? So I'm not asking you to betray God and country here. But what did you think of the deal?
Oh, it's wonderful for the SEC. It's tremendous for ESPN, and I'm always happy for them whenever something good happens because that's where my national career got started. So good for them. What I was trying to point out was a lot of people in the media were making it sound as though this was breaking news, and we knew this over a year ago. Fox didn't even have a chance to bid on the property. So I mean, it was not a big news. I mean, it's not news. This, I think it was there because they wanted to get their stock to go up, and it did. so it was good for their shareholders. I mean, that's the news of the day. It was a great day for ESPN shareholders. But and they got listen. There's no greater brand than SEC football, and there's no broadcast entity any better at branding than ESPN. We've known that for generations. And it was true when I was there. It's even more true now. And congratulations to them. No doubt about it. My point simply was, people writing and tweeting about, the college football theme music at CBS, which I was a part of for 18 years. And would they buy, all this, would they buy it? And it almost sounded like Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson and all my friends in the studio, Adam Zucker and Brian Jones and Rick Neuheisel were done. Like they were finished, and they're not. The CBS will continue to do SEC football in that window for the foreseeable future. But I guess if ESPN wants to pay them what is market value, which would be another $900 million, they could. I'm sure CBS would take it.
You bet.
But I don't see that happening. I mean, I don't. So what I was trying to say was. It's great. It's wonderful for the future long term, but that theme music and those guys doing games on CBS, that's going to continue until 2024 unless they cut a separate deal. But I was led to believe, and I was thinking when I first heard the news on social media that, oh my gosh, they did it. Because to me, breaking news would have been, they bought it, the remaining 3 years of the contract. And I just don't see CBS. This is just again, I'm not speaking from any position other than my own, being in this business for, upwards of 40 years. CBS that's one of the greatest deals in the history of sports television. They're paying $55 million for a property that gets the highest ratings every year in college football, and that it's worth now $300 million. So think about that. They get a lot of bang for their buck, and their affiliates, our friends over at my old station, Channel 9, I'm sure very happy that they still have SEC football on Saturday afternoons. So that was the point I was trying to make, that alone.
Tim, I'm so excited to have you on today because I wanted to talk college football playoff rankings. I knew you'd be the guy to talk to because there's a couple of things that I guess I'll never understand. Like, Louisiana Lafayette sits there at number 19, and Iowa State, who I think is a really good football team, is at number 7, and they have one more loss than the Raging Cajuns. And, oh, yeah, the Raging Cajuns went up to Ames and beat them by 17 points. That's one of those things that just doesn't make sense to me. But I want to ask you, because you're always so great at breaking down the CFP rankings, what do you think right now about the current rankings?
They're a bigger joke now than they've ever been, and they've always been a joke. How does Cincinnati with no losses? Okay, and it's not their fault that they didn't play. How do they suddenly fall behind Iowa State? And by the way, I'm a big proponent of Iowa State. I picked them number 6 in my preseason poll, and you can go back and look at my Twitter timeline. I was, shall we say, hammered by people when they lost to the Raging Cajuns. But you see what's happened. They've evolved. They've played an entire season. And very early in the year, a lot of Big 12 teams were impacted by COVID as well, but they went out and they played. They tried to play. Sometimes they played when they maybe could have opted not to play. I think it affected Oklahoma early in the season with the losses they had. They lost to Kansas State on the same day that Iowa State lost to Louisiana Lafayette. And by the way, Coastal Carolina beat Kansas that night. I was there for that game, and that was the run that Coastal got going. The difference in Cincinnati being jumped by Iowa State and Ohio State not being jumped by anybody is brand name. Okay, Ohio State was ranked in the top 4, and at one point 1 or 2 by the AP poll. We're talking mainstream media here, fellas. Okay, complicit with giving starting grids to brand names when they haven't even played a stinking game. So the establishment media has bought into this corrupt system, and I used to call it just flawed. It's corrupt, okay? Bottom line, corrupt. The ACC chooses to punch tickets for Notre Dame and Clemson and just tell Wake Forest and Florida State, forget that game. We're just going to go ahead and advance these guys. Now, look, Wake Forest would probably, and certainly Florida State, would not have beaten either one of those teams. But did anybody even begin to question that maneuver in terms of the ethics involved by the ACC? No, nobody questioned it. Because in the wild, wild west that we're living in now, the commissioners of these conferences are doing whatever the hell they want to get their constituents in. That's all that matters. And you know what? I'm not going to be critical of John Swofford because he's just doing what he's paid to do as the commissioner of the ACC. The Big Ten, similar situation. They chose not to play, but even in not playing, their teams were ranked for 7 weeks. So they didn't lose anything by not playing. And now when push comes to shove and they're ill-prepared to have a team replace Michigan, and we knew last week Michigan was in trouble, right? We knew that. They could have made some alterations and maybe moved the Maryland-Rutgers game to the 19th on the day of the Big Ten championship and allowed Ohio State to at least play somebody in the noon window on Fox. If not Michigan, why not Maryland? Let them play Maryland so they can get to 6. No, they just said, you know what? We'll change the rule. That rule that we said back in the summer we wouldn't revisit. The rule that said you had to play 6 games to be eligible for the Big Ten championship. It's revisionist history. It's we'll make up rules whenever it's convenient. We'll change them as long as it benefits our programs. And as long as we're talking about Ohio State, by the way, there's nothing wrong with Ohio State as a program. I hope Justin Fields, who helped lead the way to get Big Ten football back on the field of play, I hope he gets to play in the college football playoff. Those kids worked hard. These kids in the Big Ten that I'm going to see tomorrow, Wisconsin hasn't played 2 games in consecutive weeks all year. Okay, and the COVID hasn't always been about them. It happened to Graham Mertz right after his first game with Illinois. But a lot of times it's contact tracing and or it's the other team. Iowa's been fortunate. They lost their first 2, but they've played every week since then, and are 5-2. They're going to wind up playing, an 8th game tomorrow. But it's a joke, Jacob. It's an absolute joke. And if at the end of this season these guys don't look at one another, and when I say these guys, I mean the commissioners of the power leagues and the group of 5 leagues. Mike Oresco of the American Conference has every right to be pissed off that Cincinnati's being treated the way they are. The Sun Belt went, as you said, 3-0 against the Big 12 on September the 12th. And they worked their butts off to get that game with BYU together last week. I thought that was one of the greatest moments of this college football season was that game, and it was on opposite our game in Norman. It started about an hour and a half earlier. But what did they get for it? They got vaulted all the way up to number 13, Coastal Carolina. They're 10-0. They've been suiting up and going out and playing every week, and that's the best that they'll be propped up for. These guys on the committee are they're not watching everything. They can tell me they are, but I'm not believing it. They're not watching everything, because if they were watching everything, they'd know Cincinnati's defense is stout. They'd know that their quarterback is incredibly good, and they would also pay heed to a little bit more than what's going on. How about the players and the coaches and the staffs that have gone out and played these games, all right, as opposed to those that we just gave a starting grid to because they are who they are, and we can't have a college football playoff without this or that brand name. It's a crock, an absolute crock, what's taking place.
Tim, what do you think the bowl season will look like? And I ask that because the easiest thing to do would just to say cancel all the bowls except for the playoffs and we'll get on down the road. But many of those bowls can't afford a one-year hiatus, including, I think, the one in your hometown of Shreveport, the Independence Bowl. So what do you think it looks like?
I think it depends on who the sponsor is and how much it means to the sponsor to have the game play. And the reason why the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl is going to be played is because they're in sponsorship in large measure because of the United States military. Their company works in concert with the United States Army, and they're on one side of this matchup. The Pac-12 this year is on the other. They have deals with, and by the way, a really smart deal by the Independence Bowl with BYU being involved as well as the military academies and the Pac-12 in rotation. That's why the games will be played. If it doesn't make sense for the title sponsor, then I think the games, probably go away in many, many cases. But if it makes sense to the title sponsor, and certainly ESPN is owning 14, I think, of the bowls, it's inventory to them. The bowl season is basically holiday television, sports television inventory. That's really what it is. And having as much of that available as possible is good for ESPN's business, and it's certainly good for the bowls that have sponsors that are excited about having the game. But it'll be scattered, just like college football weekends have been scattered in terms of how many are played and reasons behind why some games are and some games aren't.
Tim, have a great call on the game tomorrow, Iowa and Wisconsin. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, and have happy holiday season if we don't talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you got it. You mind if I say one quick thing before I leave?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
I just got off the phone, a Zoom meeting. I tweeted about it right before I came off with you guys, and I saw the article by Brooks Cabina yesterday, and I also saw his interview with Feinbaum. And I got off the phone just a minute ago, a Zoom call with Kirk Ferentz, the head coach at Iowa. Go back in time to the start of the season, particularly with the social justice issues, and look at how Iowa was in the forefront of concern. And you could make a strong case that no head coach of any greater experience was under more siege and his program under siege than Iowa. The way that Kirk Ferentz handled that and the story he told Spencer and myself just a few moments ago, listen, I thought a lot of Kirk Ferentz before. I've known him a long time. We're the same age. He was incredible in his transparency. And I, as a friend of Ed Orgeron and somebody that cares deeply about his program and where they go from here, I want to urge to Coach Orgeron to give Kirk a call in the offseason because he's got a lot of wisdom that I think that could be shared. We can all learn. We can all learn from every day. We can learn, and I think that that's probably the position, listening and learning, that Coach O finds himself in. He's as great a man today as he was yesterday, but the opportunity to make alterations and have greater self-awareness is something that I think might be in line. And I know how much he cares and has how much he looks upon his mentors, the people that he turns to for guidance. But I think maybe getting an outside influence, someone that has the ability to give you some information from outside your core group can also be very helpful. And this guy, Kirk Ferentz, is just the right guy because he's been where Coach Orgeron, I think, finds himself right now. So I wanted to pass that along.
Thank you, Tim. We'll appreciate your time today.
You bet, fellas. All the best.
Tim Brando with Fox will call a game Wisconsin and Iowa tomorrow. He's got a point. If Ferentz is being honest, his program was under he mishandled it, and Orgeron I think will tell you that he did not handle it as well as he could have this weekend. It's an interesting point. We'll take a break. Back on the other side. First class, second class, no class. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Tune in Sunday for a full day of NFL coverage starting at noon with the Chiefs Dolphins, followed by Colts Raiders at 3:05 and Steelers Bills at 7:20. Then, Monday night, the Browns host the Ravens. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench. How did the Saints fare in their trip to Philly? Plus, after Florida, is there any hope for LSU? Plus, I break down the film and T-Bob's game takes and Ross Dellinger's hot spot. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, no class, brought to you by Relief Telemed. For businesses that have frequent interactions with the public, restaurants, retail stores, service-based businesses that can't afford to be shut down or send home employees. Relief's COVID mitigation platform takes the hassle, chaos, and stress out of having your employees tested for COVID. The process starts with a video visit with a physician and ends with a custom action plan for every employee. Through a dashboard, know exactly when your employees can come back to work. And Relief Telemed offers both on-site and off-site testing options.
ReliefTelemed.com is the website. I've told you many, many times what they did for me. No missed days is so important, right? You don't want to lose revenue, and you want to do it as safe as possible. Relief Telemed does that for me. They'll do it for you. Nothing's going to be too big, right? LSU Alexandria, Santa Ana School District out in California. Nothing's going to be too small either. Whatever you have, make sure that you get in contact with Relief Telemed, ReliefTelemed.com. Yes, I'd like for you to start.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Anybody that listens to this show knows that I have no interest whatsoever in being political. So don't take this as a political stance on anything. All right. There are Republican politicians, there are Democratic politicians, there are male politicians, there are female politicians, there are national politicians, there are statewide politicians, there are local politicians, there are white politicians, there are black politicians, and right now I hate them all. So understand that every single one of them. But I do want to. So this when I give this first class, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in a manner that is not bipartisan, but is non-partisan, because I know people have a lot of deep feelings about this. But yesterday, the FDA gave the green light on the vaccine from Pfizer, okay? I'm not telling you to take it. I'm not telling you not to take it. I'm not telling you it's going to be the answer to all our prayers. I'm not telling you it's going to be the end of the pandemic by next week at this time. But I was sitting doing this show when the world came to a screeching halt on March the 12th. And we were in the middle of the show. And not that a basketball game is the tipping point or anything, but we saw him pull the teams off the field, off the court at halftime at Madison Square Garden and say, that's it, the world stops today. And we've dealt with the world stopping for the last 9 months, and it ain't been easy. It ain't been easy on anybody. And the cost has been astronomical, worse than anything. For many people, it's cost lives, it's cost businesses, it's cost jobs, it's caused a deterioration of your mental health to absolute catastrophic levels. It has sucked. I hope that today is the first day that we have turned the corner. I'm not saying it is the miracle drug. I don't know anything about science, all right? It was everything I could do to get through regular science classes with a passing grade in college and just, get to the diploma, all right? I took as few classes as I could. So I don't know anything about it, and it's nonpartisan. But like everybody, I think, in the sound of my voice, I am sick of this pandemic. I mean, sick of it. I mean, over my eyeballs, over my head, sick of it, just as many of you are. So if this gives us a glimmer of hope, if this is the first day that we start to turn this thing around, if today is the beginning of the end, then God bless the people that worked on this thing. They're trying to get us to a yes. They're trying to get us back to normal. They are not miracle workers. And I understand everybody that saw the news of this yesterday with unbelievable skepticism. I understand why. But for my mental health, I believe, I hope, I pray that this is the beginning of the end of the pandemic. Right here today, Friday, December the 11th, when we say, when history looks back on this and says, what was the beginning of the worst part of it? And we say March the 12th. And history says, where did it start to turn around? Right. What day did it start? At what point in history? When this is a Wikipedia page 15 years from now, where did it start to turn around? Where did it start to end? And if they point to December the 11th as the day that happened, or December the 10th because the approval came yesterday, then God bless. I'm putting it in first class, not second class, not good with a chance to be great, because damn it, I'm all in. I want this, and I know everybody that's listening to me wants this. And again, I'm not advocating for you to go take it or not. I know I'm not getting into the politics of it. I want my life back. I want my old life back. And everybody that's listening to this thing, I think, wants their old life back. So if this just is a portion, just a small piece of get me to the ultimate yes, then God bless. That's my first class.
All right there, Hanny. Like the passion, as always.
Touchy subject with me. Touchy subject with everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so my first class goes to Division II Fort Hays State. If you don't know who that is.
I don't.
I didn't either before I started to read this story. They went out and they beat Kansas State in basketball without two key members of its basketball coaching staff. This doesn't happen very often, because this isn't like football where you've got a lot of really good FCS teams that can beat FBS teams. That happens all the time. That's not that big of a deal. But in college basketball, almost everyone is Division I, right? Almost every team that you know is Division I. If you look across the board, I mean, there's so many. Centenary in Shreveport for a long time was Division I, and it was a school about as big as this building, okay? So almost everybody's Division I, okay? This has not happened. This is the first non-Division I program to beat a major conference team since Texas A&M Corpus Christi beat Texas Tech on December 18th of 2000. It's been 20 years since this has happened. I love a good underdog story, and the more and more that I start to realize what the college football playoff rankings are, and as much as I said, let's just keep it at 4 teams for a long time, I have completely done a 180, because this gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to play a big boy. You know, I said it yesterday, the only sport that I can think of where it doesn't matter what you do, you can't get to the top of the mountain. And as a competitor, that bothers me. And so good on Division II, Fort Hays State, for beating Kansas State in basketball.
Fort Hays State, the Broncos, I don't know, Patriots.
Ooh, should we take guesses? Should we go around the room? Because I don't know.
We really should. Fort Hays State.
All right, Cade,
I'm going to say Broncos. Cade, give me a Fort Hays State.
Settlers.
Good. Very good. Paul O'Neill, Fort Hays State.
We're going to go Bears.
The Bears. we're all going to be pretty disappointed. It's the Tigers.
Oh, come on. Come on. That was too easy.
That was too easy.
That was
my
my fourth choice.
We know all about Tigers.
We all miss the easy. The
but good on them,
one.
man. Without
absolutely
missing some of their coaches, they had injuries too. They didn't have their full team. And it's not like Kansas State's. Kansas State's got a pretty good program. They got a really good head coach. Won a lot of games. So good on you, Fort Hays State Tigers.
My second class is National Signing Day. Next Wednesday, LSU is going to sign the majority of their 2021 class. Let me go ahead and state the absolute obvious. Hadn't been the cheeriest time for LSU on the field, off the field. But the one thing that has stayed positive to this point mostly has been recruiting. More of the news has been good than bad. They got to hold this thing together. Teams are going to come at your guys in the last 4 or 5 days. They do that in a normal year. You can bet the negative recruiting is going to come at LSU in waves like it never has before over the next 5 days. They are going to try, every other school is going to try and convince everybody that is committed to LSU that they want that it is the end of the world as we know it and they ain't fine. So it's up to Ed Orgeron and his staff to hold this thing together. Maybe even pull a couple of late surprises and keep this class together. And that gives them a chance to rebuild this roster. What they have on paper right now is good. It has a chance to be great. But in the meantime, between now and next Wednesday, it's got to be, I hate to use the word babysat, but it's certainly got to be monitored. And that's maybe underselling it a little bit. So good with a chance to be great. LSU signing class next Wednesday.
All right, I'm just going to let you know I'm not doing a no class today. I'm going to do 2 second classes. I don't really feel like being.
You're changing the rules again?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I don't feel like being negative today.
Okay.
There's been a lot of negative energy around what we cover here, so I'm just letting you know this is the first of 2 second classes. The TV deal with ABC, something we talked about with Peter Burns. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, with Conor O'Gara when he hops on with us at 2 o'clock as well. I think this has a chance to be epic for not only the SEC, but ABC, ESPN. And this isn't anything against CBS, but ESPN's the top dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
ABC, to me, does a fantastic job when they have a college football game on ABC. And the ESPN Plus aspect of this, I love it. Because if you don't have ESPN Plus, man, I don't get paid any money if I tell you this, so it's not an endorsement, but it is a no-brainer. I can pull up, 4 college football games extremely fast on my Apple TV. I've got 4 boxes here. I can go to some random college basketball game in the Southland that normally I wouldn't be able to watch. All those type of things. It's a great asset, and now that they're going to get some of these non-conference games on ESPN Plus, the school can dictate what time the kickoff is. I love all of that because I think it only just makes the product, makes the brand of the SEC that much better. And I think that this is going to be a deal where both parties benefit. Not always is that the case. So the ABC, ESPN, Disney, whatever you want to call it, deal with the SEC gets a second class for me.
I'll be brief on my no class because I think I've done this this week already. It was the Pac-12 had a chance here, as they have many times, to at least give themselves a fighting chance. The ACC, they manipulated the rules. The Big Ten, they manipulated the rules. Whatever. Hey, work for your guys. Work for your brand. The Pac-12 had a chance to do this. They've got 2 undefeated teams. Could have made a deal where they put them into the championship game together. Hey, ditch the division. We can't ditch the divisions. The divisions are. Yeah, you can. Yeah. ACC put Notre Dame in for the year. Everybody's changed every rule that they've ever had. Change the rule. Well, we can't do it. It's too late in the season. No, it's not. we're making changes on 24, 48 hours notice.
Yeah.
Put USC and Colorado. And, yes, they may have done it and they would have both lost this weekend. Could happen. But try. I mean, try. The Pac-12 has been the least proactive conference in anything since we started this deal. They are more like get me to a no than they are get me to a yes. They had a chance to put together 2 undefeated teams and at least make an argument and say, why is Ohio State better than USC? Now, I've seen Ohio State play, and I've seen USC play. And believe me when I tell you, Ohio State would take USC to the woodshed. But at least make an argument. At least put their resumes side by side and say, our guys should have a chance. Fight for your brand. No, we can't do that, man. We got everything's already set. Okay, fine. So easy whipping, boy, low hanging fruit. But they had a chance to help themselves a little bit, and as usual, chose not to do that. First class, second class, no class is brought to you by Relief Telemed.
You're not gonna let me do my second class?
I thought you said you weren't doing one.
I was doing 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, two.
Go right ahead.
By the way, I do need to apologize to Carl Durrell, the Colorado head coach. I made fun of that hire when they made it. He was making over $3 million a year. This is a guy that hadn't been a college head coach since 2007. It went okay at UCLA, but it felt like they were settling, and he's gone out there, and he's got his team 4-0 playing really good football. So I do have to admit that I was wrong there so far. All right, my second class.
All right.
Blake Anderson. He's the Arkansas State head coach. Of course, I think a lot of us remember when he was going through something personally. His wife, Wendy, actually passed away from breast cancer. It was an incredibly sad deal. The University of Georgia and their fans did a really nice job of supporting him, and I believe they actually raised money in his name. He missed that game and was out for that season at different parts of the season, so he's been going through things personally, obviously, as well, but he just got named the Utah State head coach. This is someone at Arkansas State that was 51-37. When you talk to anyone that's ever known him, say he's one of the greatest men you'll ever meet, and again, just going through so much in his coaching career, and still being able to go out there every single day and mold young minds. Credit to him. He's done a nice job at Arkansas State. Now he's getting his opportunity to go from the Sun Belt to the Mountain West at Utah State. So best of luck to him. Good, with a chance to be great.
Very well. We take a break, hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
You've only got a couple days left to get to Haspel's pop-up sale on Perkins Road. You know, this jacket came from our friends over at Haspel, and it's just one of many that you can get right now at 70% off, including the seersucker. And if you're thinking seersucker is something that you can only wear in the summer, only wear in the spring, I'm here to tell you they've got way more than just blue and white stripes. You've seen me wear a couple of them here on the set, and I'm telling you, it's comfortable, it's terrific looking, and right now it's 70% off.
You're exactly right. I mean, this is not going to come around again. You've only got really a day and a half to make it out to Haspel, so please make sure you do it because like Hanny mentioned, man, you could pick up something that is a showstopper, seersucker, men's shirts. Don't forget about the formal wear as well. Seersucker tuxedo. I mean, come on. You will walk into the Mardi Gras balls and you will be the talk of the town. Haspel.com is the website.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
The high school football playoffs continue, and we got you covered starting tonight at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High and Brother Martin kick off at 7, and we wrap things up with a full 2 hours of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show at 10 on YouTube, CST, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Bayou Ford powers the all-new 104.5 ESPN mobile app. Download the app today and watch our shows daily. Listen to us live wherever you go. Find what you missed on demand and more. It's a free download available for both Apple and Android devices, and it's powered by Bayou Ford.
Speaking of Bayou Ford, we got a comment in the chat that I responded to it. I'd like to share it. This is from James, who posts often. He's one of our regular posters. He says, "Why didn't LSU offer Joe Brady the offensive coordinator job immediately after last season?" Well, first of all, things were going pretty well. He meant the regular season, right after the Bama game. First of all, things were going pretty well the way they were, and LSU had made a sizable offer to Joe Brady. Had basically offered to quadruple his salary and make him among the highest paid. David Tepper owns the Carolina Panthers. I'm not going to go into
with Lou Tepper.
No, David Tepper's got nothing to do with. Well, I don't think. Maybe they're distant cousins or something. But David Tepper is an American businessman, hedge fund manager. David Tepper's net worth. You want to take a guess?
I bet it's a B and not an M.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It starts with a B and it ends with an S, okay? and in between, there's a whole lot of Benjamins. He's worth $13 billion. $13 billion. He's one of the richest men in the United States, and according to Forbes, this has been updated because he was worth 12 when they hired him. Just to put that in perspective, LSU's endowment, Louisiana State University, founded in 1860, is about $1 billion, a little over $1 billion. LSU was not going to be able to outbid David Tepper for anybody.
And too, like I can't say it enough. He wanted to be a pro football coach.
He did.
And there's nothing wrong with it. There's zero wrong with that. He had been at both. He'd been at Penn State. He'd been with the Saints, and with many conversations with him, just having, shooting the bull, he wanted to be a pro coach. That was the end game. The end game for him is to be an NFL head coach. So he had an opportunity to go put his foot in the door as more than that, as an OC. I mean, he's fully in. Right, and he knew those opportunities were already going to be available at that point, which you're talking about. So I don't even know if there's anything they could have ever done. I mean, this is what he wants to do.
And the guy's worth $13 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, he's worth more than the endowment of a university that's 160 years old. LSU's got some big money people behind it. Big money boosters. And I'm guessing that if you took LSU's top 10 biggest boosters probably doesn't add up to what this guy has. I mean, there's an urban legend out there. People claim it's true that once he got bad service at a restaurant, bought the restaurant to fire the waiter. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. It's a good story. But he's apparently a fairly vindictive dude with more money than him and 1,000 other people could ever spend. Right. What within reason?
I try though.
What he
wants?
What he want? You think he could spend $13 billion?
No, but I try.
You ever seen the movie Brewster's Million?
Come on, who are you talking to?
Okay,
come on.
It came out, I think, the year you were born. So I was asking
again, who are you talking to?
Yeah, right. $13 billion. If you couldn't give any of it away, if you had to spend it, like the rules in the movie, could you spend $13 billion?
I would try.
Yeah,
my hardest.
It'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, he wanted an offensive
I'd get a
coordinator.
heater for this office studio.
Wouldn't that be a great way to start? Hanging with Hester and Hanny is brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
Tiger Air is an independent dealer of the American Standard heating and air conditioning system. When I put the American Standard in my home several years ago, I noticed an immediate decrease in my energy bills, and that has continued every month since. There's reasons for that. Number one, it's the most efficient unit on the market, and once you get into the plan, you'll have maintenance twice a year from our friends at Tiger Air. But also the programmable thermostat means I'm never wasting energy. I can program it from my smartphone. That way, I always come home to a nice, comfortable climate.
You're exactly right. It makes too much sense to be a part of that Comfort Assurance Protection Plan. It's something that I would encourage every listener to do. You're going to save so much money. You're going to get discounts on parts and labor. You're going to have increased equipment life, which is going to save you money. Lower utility bills every single month. Emergency and priority service, oh yes, at a discounted rate. Go to tiger-air.com for more information. Also, call them at 225-754-8687.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
You know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community without being asked? We think that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust. If you know someone who exhibits all of these qualifications, nominate them for a Good Citizen Award, and they could receive $500 from Citizens Bank. And we'll recognize them here on the show. Get the details at citizensbankandtrust.com, and then nominate your good citizen.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays, You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor. You could control with your iPhone. They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into front-to-back boat services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-back boat services.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele previews the biggest games. Jay Ducote with the tailgate segment. The Riot Radio Hours return. Join us. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. I like the Saints. You can see Eagles.
Do I like them?
Yeah.
No, I love them.
You love them?
Yeah, love them.
I love them too. I think it's going to be a wonderful setup for the game against the Chiefs. I would have liked to have seen Drew Brees get into this game, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. They are getting healthier, the Saints. 3 weeks ago, they were maybe the healthiest team in the NFL, and then you can never really keep that going. They had, in addition to Brees, they had some injuries along the offensive line. So Andrews Pete is back, and that means that you've got now essentially 3 starting guards, because I think we can consider Nick Easton a starting guard, right?
Absolutely.
And we can consider Cesar Ruiz a starting guard. And, of course, Andrews Pete is a starting guard and at times has been a starting tackle. I'll be honest with you. The very first minute I heard the name Cesar Ruiz, wasn't over the moon about it. I was sitting right here. It was one of those.
You weren't?
I wasn't.
Was that the night that Island Hanny made?
No, that was the night. That was the night before.
Yeah,
it's a particularly eventful NFL draft for us. But he's had a really good. I thought they had bigger needs, but I didn't realize that Larry Warford had gone down the road as far as he had. Anyway, it's been a good rookie year for Ruiz, and Sean Payton talked a little bit about him as he and Nick Easton are going to share time on Sunday.
Look, I just think the added reps. I think also a credit to Nick and the way he's played and battled. I think Caesar's powerful. I think, man, he can anchor. He's got strong hands. He's playing guard for the first time, and so some of the run schemes. But man, I'm excited we have him, and I think he's having a good rookie year. I do, and he's going to play. He'll play in this game. Part of it is just a plan going in. We've had depth there, fortunately, where guys have had to step up and play, whether it's been an inside position or an outside position. But I think overall, Mike, just the volume of work and reps at guard as opposed to center where he played in college.
Our friend Kenny Trahan said something 2-3 months back. We were talking about the building of the Saints, and he talked about something that I really believe in, and I think they've done a great job of, is building from the inside out, which is building and investing in the offensive and defensive line. So while I thought they had bigger needs, investing in the offensive and defensive line with guys that hit is never a bad thing. And you look across that line where Ramczyk is a first-round pick and Ruiz is a first-round pick and McCoy a second-round pick that was their first pick that particular year, and Andrews Pete was a first-round pick. They stole Taron Armstead in the 3rd round, and they developed him. And then Nick Easton, when they signed him, was one of their top free agent signings in that year. You look on the other side, Cam Jordan was a first-round pick. And I know he has been bad, but Marcus Davenport, at least they were trying. They can never get him on the field. The kid's got some potential. And Malcolm Brown was a first-round pick that they signed in free agency. And David Onyemata and Trey Hendrickson are guys that were drafted in the middle rounds that they developed. That is the part of the team that doesn't get as much credit because Breeze is flashy. He's a big name. And DeMario Davis is having such a great year. And all of those things. Lines. Right. the lines, it still comes back down to that and investing in that part of your team, and they really have.
And there's a lot of people out there that when the Saints were drafting, there was 2 positions that they wanted to key on. It was linebacker and receiver. And when they didn't take one of those 2 positions, I don't really think it mattered who it was. I think people were just wanting those positions so bad. Of course, here locally.
Guilty.
Yeah, well,
Get
here
guilty,
locally,
yeah.
Patrick Queen was available, and Patrick Queen's having a hell of a rookie year.
Wouldn't have been a bad pick.
But right now, you got Quan Alexander, who is still a young football player. He's not as young, obviously, as Patrick Queen, but so you've added new life to that position group. Who knows if Jefferson's available 2 picks later? If you take Justin Jefferson, he's dominant. Can we say dominant?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
dominant rookie season for Justin Jefferson there. I know Kenneth Murray was the guy that you were really high on out of Oklahoma. The Chargers ended up selecting him 1 pick before
What kind of
Ruiz,
years he
but
having?
he's doing okay.
Yeah.
He's not having the Patrick Queen year by any means.
Okay.
There's been times he's looked lost. There's times that a former Charger has yelled at the TV at him in coverage.
Anybody you know?
I know. Nobody on the show would know. But so I think it was more of they didn't select those positions than when he was made available there. This is a guy that has potential to be a mauler. He brings a toughness to the offensive line, and I agree wholeheartedly with you that you are a championship team 9 times out of 10 when you shore up both sides of the line.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 3. Conor O'Gara is with us when we come back at 2 o'clock, and also our picks coming at 2:30. Jacob and his. You got a double-digit dog for us this week?
You know, I mean, I'll have one. Not it's got to. It's got to come to me. It's got to come to me like in the moment when I'm looking at my picks.
You're screwing up my teas now. Okay, Hester with a great double-digit dog. Hang with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Hello.
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up.
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I build a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, Cam Newton's still the Patriots' starting quarterback. That was Coach Bill Belichick's very short answer when asked if he was considering a change to Jarrett Stidham following another sluggish performance by the offense last night. Belichick may be sticking with Newton now, but it's hard to believe that'll be the case in 2021, says Bart and Hahn co-host Bart Scott.
Cam Newton doesn't look like he's comfortable in his offense, and they have to make a specialized offense for him. And I think it limits what Josh McDaniels would like to do with a traditional quarterback. At this point, Cam is just pretty much running the football, and the rest of the league has caught up.
Bart Scott with Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Injury news for Sunday's game. Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey doubtful against the Broncos. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones with that hamstring injury officially listed as questionable against the Cardinals. Vikings tight end Kyle Rudolph doubtful against the Bucs. Tampa Bay does expect receiver Mike Evans to be available. Washington leading rusher Antonio Gibson out against the Niners. Baseball, the Phillies hired Dave Dombrowski as their first ever president of baseball operations.
Look, we all accidentally damage our phones. It happens. Now, Straight Talk Wireless's new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, data, and more. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 3, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Alongside Jacob Hester, I'm Charles Hanagriff. Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South is our guest. Conor, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. It's good to still be talking about football in mid-December. I know there are a lot of people wondering if this day would come, but I'm grateful for that, if nothing else.
Thank you for prefacing it like that, because you may have to give a negative answer to the next question, because I feel the same way. Okay, but Hester called me a Debbie Downer earlier because I said, in all the time I've been covering the league, this may be the most inconsequential weekend of SEC football ever. We know who's in the championship game. Outside of maybe Gus Malzahn, I don't know that anybody's on the hot seat as far as this game. We've already had a couple of coaching firings. The bowl season is whatever it is. And Texas A&M, who is the one team that might be fighting for a playoff spot that's not in control of its own destiny, is not playing this weekend. So is this the most inconsequential weekend ever, or am I just being a Debbie Downer?
Well, crap, man, when you put it like that, goodness gracious. I mean, you got a few good points in there. I mean, I think that's all well and good. And then you could probably look over to the ACC and see the fact that Notre Dame and Clemson got a de facto bye week, and Ohio State's not even playing the game. All right, you're talking me into this, but I don't like where it's coming from.
See, I agree. I hate what I'm saying. I hate it.
Call it it's like the free space on a bingo card or something like that, right? Like a game that doesn't have consequences, but it's still part of it, and we still get to have an excuse of Saturday watching football from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. or whenever you are finally able to turn off the TV and your eyes are in a daze. And I'm not going to poo-poo that per se, But you are right in that barring something drastic, a la an LSU upset of Florida, which I'm not holding my breath on that because I don't want to die, I think that we are in that spot right now where we're talking about a lot of very inconsequential outcomes. But, the good news is it means we could probably start talking about the SEC championship if we wanted to.
All right, I'll throw some spice into this, Connor, which I had to do earlier with my man Hanny here. If Tennessee loses to Vanderbilt or if Auburn loses to Mississippi State, will there be a new coach in one of those places next week?
Yes. Tennessee. You can't lose to this Vandy team. You can lose to the Vandy team that's winning 6 games and going to a bowl game, and Derek Mason is riding the horse, and everybody's feeling good about Vandy. You can't lose to this Vandy team, a Vandy team that has struggled to put together a full roster the entire year. Like, the big headline out of Nashville this week was Todd Fitch getting up to the mic and saying, I think we're going to be able to field a team this week. That's where we're at with Vandy, who is yet to win a game this year and is, a couple weeks removed from losing 41-0 to Mizzou. So I don't think that Tennessee at this stage can stomach that. I think the outcry will be Fiano-esque if that were to happen to Jeremy Pruitt, because you can't end your season with that. You can't end your season losing 7 consecutive games, and who knows if they would lose this one by double digits as well. But this is a program that hasn't lost six double digit losses in a row ever. So I think that would be the type of thing that would stir up the masses. But, I think Tennessee still wins that game. They should win that game by a lot. They still have Eric Gray on the field, even if they don't trust their starting quarterback. I mean, goodness gracious, if you can't win that one, I don't really know what you're doing there in year 3. And Philip Fulmer, he can make all the Johnny Majors comparisons he wants, but he would see the writing on the wall with that.
Conor O'Gara is our guest. Conor, you did a piece. I really like this piece on Saturday Down South about seniors you would like to see return in 2021, since everybody is basically given a free pass in 2020. The name on the list, you gave 10, but the one that was most intriguing to me was Felipe Franks. It was something that, frankly, I hadn't considered before. And Franks has come from borderline SEC starter to somewhat dependable quarterback at Arkansas, and he's still somebody because of the way he throws the deep ball with a lot of upside. First of all, where do you think Felipe Franks would go in this draft, if at all? And what do you think his upside is if he were to come back for another year?
I think Felipe is going to have a chance on an NFL roster. I do. I really do. And I think that's partially because he's played now in multiple teams. I think that you take a chance on, the arm talent, and, he has a little bit of mobility, and he can play a modern NFL offense. Now, I think he's still likely more in the probably like mid to late round type of guy, like round 5, 6 type of guy. But, yeah, he could hold a clipboard. I mean, I'd have no problem, if my Chicago Bears were to draft a guy like Felipe Franks, which they're never willing to take a quarterback on day 2 or day 3 for some inexplicable reason. But I think that his upside is more than what we thought it was. This year coming into the season, I kept telling Arkansas fans, I think he's Jameis Winston. I think that you kind of ride the roller coaster with him. You take the good with the bad. A Felipe dime is a sight to behold. It's such a fun thing to watch. And, amidst all the drama that's been his career, the kind of back and forth, up and down nature of it, guy's turned into a pretty good player. And I know there are a lot of Arkansas fans who are really bummed to see that last-minute decision to not play in that game last week with the rib injury. And they're kind of wondering, hey, is that our last time seeing Felipe Franks? And, I think that if you were to decide, I want to come back to Arkansas, which I don't think that's going to happen, I think he would be welcomed back with open arms from that fan base who's appreciated the stability that he has provided, which in itself is just a weird thought.
I think there's a couple of programs in the SEC, Connor, that could have seniors come back because it's so much better now than when, they first got there, even last year. And I'm talking about Missouri and Arkansas. That's a couple of programs we didn't really have high expectations for. Arkansas has exceeded those. Missouri's a ranked football team here in the last week of their regular season, right? And so you could convince a lot of players that maybe aren't high draft choices but potentially could be. I think you'll see some seniors come back at both programs.
I think so too, and I kind of think that speaks to wanting to see more of what they have with this coaching staff, and there are going to be some people that take advantage of that. I don't think it's necessarily going to be someone like a Larry Roundtree. I kind of think he's had his last hurrah there, which is unfortunate because he's having one of those years that probably not enough people are appreciating. But you're exactly right in that I think some people are just out having fun playing football. And if they don't get that NFL draft grade, yeah, maybe if they're all of a sudden starting in this system, they could really help themselves and they could take advantage of this. Guys who are spending 5 years in college or sometimes even 6. I think that a lot of times we would look at that as a negative. But if you're playing, a receiver or something like that that's got a little bit more longevity, in the NFL, I think that's definitely something that we could see, especially with places that just had first-year coaches. Ole Miss is another one where you could see some of those seniors come back.
Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South is our guest. Okay, Conor, you asked, so I'll oblige you. You said we could take a look ahead to the SEC championship game. Alabama's going to open about a 2-touchdown favorite in this game, and they're the number 1 team in the country. How do you see the long-term look here, probably 8 days out? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is still an Alabama team that should win this game by 2 scores. And, I'm trying to think of the ways that Florida can win this game because obviously we know the offense is fun to watch. We know that Alabama probably isn't going to have an answer for Kyle Pitts. Nobody's had an answer yet. You can bet Nick Saban has been watching all of his disciples try and come up with something to no avail, right? But I think at the same time, this is still an Alabama offense that is so unbelievably balanced that there's a reason nobody has stopped them yet. And I can't see the Florida defense, which has had moments where it looks like it's kind of turned the corner, but really this has still been an inconsistent group at best. I think Todd Grantham could have a couple of pressure plays drawn up where it gets Mac Jones a little bit out of rhythm, but over the course of 60 minutes, the Alabama offense is just too explosive, too good. And I think it's just because we're seeing something really rare. We talked about this with Clemson a couple years ago, how unique it was that they had all those guys on the defensive line come back for that season. Alabama's got the same thing right now. I mean, they've got Dylan Moses on the defensive side, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, of course. Those are guys who should all be in the NFL. Alex Leatherwood, too, by the way. They've got this offensive line that's playing at an all-world level. I think that wins out. And barring something crazy like a significant injury, if we were to see Najee Harris go down, one of those big 3 for Alabama on the offensive side of the ball, I don't think this is a game that Florida can compete. Alabama's not going to stop Florida every single time, but I think they can get enough stops with how well they've played defensively. So as boring as it is to say Alabama's probably going to win the SEC championship, I think that's how it plays out.
Let me ask you this, Conor. You've got 3 guys in this game that potentially could be, not in New York this year, virtually, but up for the Heisman Trophy as finalists. Obviously, both quarterbacks, Devontae Smith. For me, Devontae Smith's the best player in the country. If he doesn't, get real consideration for the Heisman Trophy this year, then let's just call it like it is. It's a quarterback, maybe a running back award at best. This guy has dominated football games. If he can't win the Heisman at receiver, or at least be in the conversation, there's no point in even having other players outside of quarterbacks and running backs show up.
I agree. He would be number 2 on my list right now in terms of the Heisman Trophy. I'd put him ahead of Mac Jones. I'd have Kyle Trask at number 1 overall, just because I think some of the things that you break down with what he's done is just truly remarkable in terms of the numbers and the pace that he is on. If you pace it out over 15 games especially, I mean, it's absurd. And I do think, though, that Devontae Smith needs to be part of this conversation, or else what's the point of even considering wide receivers? Kind of like, what's the point of considering a group of 5 team for the playoff if we can't even, consider them in a year like this? I think that Devontae, you're going to look back on this season and the per game numbers are going to be even better than 2014 Amari Cooper, which I didn't think that we would see in the SEC in such a short time frame, but he is having that special of a season. There's a very good chance he ends up as the most prolific receiver that this conference has ever seen. And if we are looking at that and saying, oh, he can't win because he's not a quarterback, and we try and use this narrative of just letting the SEC championship quarterback winner decide it, I agree. I think that's a bit lazy.
Conor, we appreciate your time. Have a good football weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Conor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. We'll take a break here. We're brought to you by Richard Sonda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Off the Bench, Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Service.
The high school football playoffs continue, and we got you covered starting tonight at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High and Brother Martin kick off at 7, and we wrap things up with a full 2 hours of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show at 10 on YouTube, CST, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Our picks are coming up in the next segment, and then ask us as we wind down here on a Friday. You know, they're going to be without Eric Gilbert this weekend. LSU, of course, we're talking about here. And while that, him leaving the program for the last 2 weeks and whether or not he's going to be back has been the biggest story. We have sort of, up till this point, ignored the football aspect of it, which is they have to go there, and Carter's not available either this weekend. So what is LSU exactly going to do at the tight end position, and Ed Orgeron address that?
He's more suited to be outside. I mean, he's a big, tall, athletic tight end. Needs to grow into his body, get a little bit more physical, but he has since he's been here. Again, he's only a freshman. And then we got Nick Storrs. Nick's is a big man, and we're going to play him. A guy we got from baseball. We expect him to play. I'm excited about it. He's excited about it. I can't wait to see those two guys play.
Going to do a good job of setting that clip up. He's talking about Cole Taylor at the beginning of that clip.
Right.
So it's a kid you've seen. He looks like, the first time I saw him, who he reminded me of, I don't know if you remember this guy when he played, but you'll know the name. He reminded me of a guy named Don Hasselbeck. Matt and the dad. He played for the Patriots, and he was on the same team as Russ Francis for a while. They would go two tight ends. This is back when football was football, and you got in the trenches, and you needed these tight ends that looked like a forklift. And Hasselbeck looked like a forklift. I mean, he was this gigantic guy. And that's what Taylor looks like to me, this gigantic guy that has hands the size of a forklift, but he can run a little bit too.
Yeah, this is a guy that I said earlier in the week, you found him for a reason. He's from Colorado. He wasn't, the top tight end in the country. Well, you got him too, but you know what I'm saying? This is a guy that you sought out because you heard about him. You saw something that you liked. That's why you go get a kid like this from Colorado, because that's not in your footprint, right? Mm-hmm. You found out he had a skill set that you wanted to have on your football team. And so I'm excited to see him. Would you rather have the highest rated tight end of all time on 247 Sports in the game? Yes, but this is an opportunity for two guys to step up. I do know they love Nick Storrs. They love him. They talked about him as soon as he got over from baseball. Now, it's a nice story. Let's see if it plays out. You're going to have an opportunity. No Torrey Carter, no Eric Gilbert. And this is a team that's going to be physical with you in Florida. Let's see if they can handle that.
I've been waiting for Storrs to pitch for about 4 years now. Okay, so as a tight end, I got nothing on him, and he finally started to pitch a little bit last year when they shut the season down. I thought he had a lot of potential there. Storrs, he's a unique athlete. If you know his backstory from when he was in high school, he was a pitcher, and LSU had recruited him as a pitcher, and then he got hurt, but he could still hit. And he wasn't really a hitter up to that point, but they said, you know what, you can't throw the ball. He had a shoulder, something or another. I think it was in his lat or whatever. But he could swing a bat. He just couldn't throw.
Right.
So they turned him into a hitter, and he starts launching bombs all over the place. I mean, he's just crushing the ball. They sent him out to a home run derby in San Diego, and he did pretty well. And anybody will tell you that's ever been to that park, which I know you have.
Graveyard.
You can't. It is an airport. You're trying to hit it out of there. Of all the places to have a home run derby, so he did those two things. And when he got to LSU, they were actually thinking about letting him hit. And then I think it was the first or second BP. He fouls the ball off of his foot. He's got to miss weeks, and Maneri was like, no, I need you to pitch. And it's been going on for 3 years. It's been one thing or another they couldn't find out. And when he actually did pitch, it's like, okay, I see the potential here.
Right.
But you've got an athlete here, this is another big person. He's not as big as Hasselbeck. He's not as big as Taylor, but he's a big person, and he's a lot older kid. I don't know if he can play football or not. I mean, I know he's made it on the special teams and things like that. Maybe so. I mean, who knows? He's got some unique abilities.
Let's call it like it is. This right now in this game, you're more than a 3-touchdown underdog. You're going on the road, a difficult place to play. I know the fans aren't going to be there, but it's still a difficult place. It's long travel, all those things. You're facing a playoff contender, a team that's going to be in Atlanta for the SEC championship game. The one thing that you can actually look forward to as an LSU fan is the young guys that we don't know, the young guys that are going to get this opportunity, because there's not a lot of positives. We can't pump sunshine into this game. If you tried, you're not doing your job the way you're supposed to be doing it, okay? So this is our opportunity. Just like last week, Kayshon Boutte was the guy that we were excited about. He showed up. He showed out, okay? So which young guy can show me in this game against this type of competition, which – we don't know. It could potentially be the last game. Who knows where Ole Miss is, okay? And I know some people are are kind of watching that more closely than others.
Hey, Lane Kiffin, man,
but
he's got to. It's his job.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see what some of these young guys have. I mean, what better opportunity than against the Florida Gators in the Swamp?
Yeah,
take advantage of it. If you want to be a guy on this team next year, let's go.
If you want to be a dude
yeah.
on this
Okay,
team
fair
next
enough,
year,
fair
the
enough,
lingo,
fair
right,
enough.
man? Okay. All right, so we talked about some young guys. Let's talk about one of the upperclassmen, because somebody's got to cover Kyle Pitts, and I don't know who that is, but
Not me.
Jabril Cox is going to get a shot.
I believe in Jabril. Now, this is going to be more of a challenge. This guy's one of the best players in the country. And he proved it to us last year. We couldn't stop him last year. And I think Jabril can do a good job of. Obviously, that guy's going to make some plays. Jabril's not going to be perfect. But if we have anybody that can cover him one-on-one, I believe in Jabril.
Look at any mock draft right now, and Kyle Pitts is in the top 10.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of tight ends get into the top 10. It's depressing, because the first time I saw Kyle Pitts, the first thing in my mind was, man, that guy'd be a good-looking Saint. They got no chance. They got no chance. But what do you do? Derek Stingley Sr. was on with off the bench in the morning early this week, and they asked him, hey, is Derek going to get his best cover guy? It's like, man, and his dad was like, look, Pitts has got him by about 50 pounds. He's what, 5-6 inches taller than him, 4 or 5 inches anyway.
Right.
This ain't the best spot for Derek, even though he can cover.
Right.
You're going to need some help. So Cox is at least closer to his size, but can he run with him?
That's going to be the question. And he did a nice job against the Texas A&M tight end, but this is a different animal.
Mm-hmm.
This is he's almost a generational type tight end, even in 2020 football, with what he's been doing and the way he's been scoring touchdowns and hitting big home runs, not just 15-yard dig routes. Okay. I don't know. Jacoby Stevens seems to me like a guy that could be physical with him and can run with him maybe better than Jabril Cox, just because you're talking about safety and a linebacker. We saw, Stevens go stride for stride with a Clemson receiver last year. Okay. Now, he didn't make the play. It was a heck of a play by the receiver, but he was right there to make the play. So if you put him on a receiver last year in the national championship game, okay, well, let's put him on Kyle Pitts. I think that matchup would play better for Jacoby, but Jabril Cox has shown that he can cover tight ends. The speed factor of it worries me.
What do you remember about how LSU tried to cover him last year? Because he did have.
They tried everything. They tried everybody. They did. They tried they tried Delpit.
I'm kind of sighing because
Stevens. They tried Stingley a little bit.
Stevens was on the team last year, and Stingley was on the team. Yeah.
You weren't on the team last year. Let's give you a try.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, all right, here's the deal. Pitts is going to have 6 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown, maybe 2.
Hey.
It just is.
Here's the deal. Florida does not want to run the football. They do not want to do it. There's been, I think it's 4 games where a receiver has been their leading rusher, okay? Not to say Pierce can't do it, but they just don't do it. They don't want to do it. They want to throw the football. That's who Dan is. Okay? Rush 3 and drop 8. Because you're not getting pressure on the quarterback rushing 4. So unless you do something that shows me different, rush 3, drop 8, play coverage, and if they start to run the ball, then adjust. Because Kyle Trask is trying to win a Heisman Trophy. You don't think Dan knows that? You don't think Dan wants to play that? Dan right now, we're 24-point favorite. Let's go out there. Let's throw the football. Let's light the scoreboard up, right?
The Arkansas versus Ole Miss strategy.
Yes.
Okay. I'm fine. I don't have anything better. Go right ahead.
Because what else? Like right now, you can't get pressure on the quarterback, okay? You couldn't do it last week. You haven't been able to really do it in a couple of weeks, okay? I'm not going to send 5. I sure as hell not going to send 6. And if I don't get home, let Kyle Trask pick me apart. Hey, is it conceding? No, it's being smart. Play coverage. They don't want to run the football. Their leading rusher, their running back last week had 5 carries for 5 yards. Okay, that's not who they are. They'd rather throw a bubble or a now route to Tony, and that's their run. Okay, but if you're playing coverage, you are better set up to stop that.
I like this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Take a break. Our picks are next. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
Gotro's Outdoor Power. As we wind down 2020, the Skag zero-turn mowers have never been more affordable. With 60 months interest-free financing on all of the residential and commercial zero turns from Skag, you're going to get a great deal. You're also going to get free delivery, and you're going to get service after the sale from Gotros. They've been serving the Gonzales area for many, many years. They're open in Baton Rouge as well. So either location, pick up a Skaggs. I know you're not thinking about buying lawnmowers right now. You should, because if you're going to need one in the spring, get it now when it's at a much better price.
If you've been eyeing that Turf Tiger, that Tiger Cat, that Patriot, the Freedom Z, maybe the Cheetah, maybe the Liberty Z, now is the time. Hanny mentioned 2 locations locally, but if you're listening across the state of Louisiana, GoTrosOutdoorPower.com is the website. You'll find a piece of Skag power equipment you love, and they will deliver it right to your doorstep. That's GoTros Outdoor Power. We make it easy.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. Innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You may not know about the 4Kids Foundation, but you've probably heard of the Zurich Classic. And the Zurich Classic exists because of 4 kids. But it's what happens after the tournament that really counts. 100% of the proceeds are donated by the 4Kids Foundation to hundreds of local charities, totaling more than $40 million, all to help local children and families in need. 4Kids helps kids through golf, because every child deserves a shot at a brighter future.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Coming up on Monday's Off the Bench. How did the Saints fare in their trip to Philly? Plus, after Florida, is there any hope for LSU? Plus, I break down the film and T-Bob's game takes and Ross Dellinger's hot spot. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Picks time. Hester got me last week. He went 3-3 or 4-2.
Went 3-3.
3-3. I went 2-4.
Hit my double-digit underdog,
which was Coastal, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have it. You were climbing towards 500. I was sliding back towards 500. Are we about even now?
Yeah, we're about even.
You don't give numbers. We're just about even.
Well, it makes it sound better if I.
Let me tell you before we give our picks, they're brought to you by Coors Light, the official beer of Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Cold, crisp, refreshing Coors Light now available in the slim cans. Just over 100 calories of great mountain freshness. And also our friends at Blue Moon, you want to try one of the new products from Blue Moon, the Light Sky Citrus Sweet beers, and also in the slim cans. And only about 100 calories in those. It's got a nice citrus aroma and taste to it. Tangerine peels are brewed right in. So whether you're getting a Blue Moon Light Sky or a Coors Light, as my friend here would say,
right.
Enjoy the holiday weekend. Enjoy the weekend. We're almost to the holidays. Enjoy the weekend, the football weekend, with a cold Coors Light.
I know I will. I know you will. I know everybody out there should.
Sure. So we're even, right?
Sure.
All right, let's start.
I'll go ahead and start this off. Missouri plus 14 versus UGA. Early kick. Missouri at home. Let's see what you got, Eli Drinkwitz.
No JT Daniels fan, huh?
No. Well, yeah, but I still think it's a lot of points on the road. Early kick.
That's fair. Okay. I got one tonight that I want to talk about. This line jumped out to me right away, and it just absolutely stinks. So, when I see a stinky line, jump right in. Arizona State's an 11-point favorite against Arizona. They had won a game, right?
Right.
Okay.
Neither one of them.
So, right. So why are you an 11-point favorite? I mean, Arizona State had USC beat, and I think USC not nearly as good. They were still in the game, with UCLA. They had a week off. Their schedule's been all screwed up. Arizona's awful. I mean, they're absolutely awful. This one has the makings of a Friday night blowout to me. So a little early play on Arizona State against Arizona. Herm Edwards is going to get a win, okay? And I think they've got the chance to run up a pretty good score on Arizona, who is just, like I said, absolutely terrible.
All right, I will take a road dog. Michigan State plus 14.5 at Penn State. Both teams are awful. I just don't think Michigan State is awful enough to lose by more than 2 touchdowns.
Well, you get the good Michigan State this week, right?
Yeah,
you get the good Spartans, the bad Spartans every other week. They're coming off a terrible one. You get them on a good one the next week. I'm going to take Miami minus the 3 points against North Carolina. You realize that Miami's had a terrific. Their one loss is to. They're the ACC version of Texas A&M. Their one loss was to Clemson, and they played really well. North Carolina, to me, they're a mile wide and an inch deep. I mean, they beat Wake Forest by this much.
Right.
They lost to Virginia. They lost to Florida State. Their defense is awful. Miami should be laying 7 here.
Right.
They're laying 3. I like the Canes.
I like that one. All right, go Dogs. Louisiana Tech plus 22 at TCU. Louisiana Tech, one of those programs that always gets up for a game like this. TCU, how interested are you playing Louisiana Tech in December? Getting 3 touchdowns, I'll take the Dogs.
I was encouraged to take this game, not because he had a side, but, Timmy B got me looking a little closer at Iowa and Wisconsin. That'll be a good game to watch tomorrow. Wisconsin really disappointed me a week ago. I thought they would be much better. What's Iowa done? They're 5-2.
Yeah.
Like Timmy B said, they play every week. They lost a close game to Purdue to open the season. They lost a 1-point game to Northwestern the following week. Ain't lost since.
Right.
It's not like they've beaten Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama, but they've won every game since, and they're catching 2 against Wisconsin. This is almost in the stinky category. We're the Hawkeyes plus 2 at home. Wave to the kids.
There you go.
I love that tradition.
I do
it's one.
too.
You can't. They say you can't develop a new tradition because most of the time
Right.
I would say it's the one tradition that has come up in the last 10 years where it's like, hey, we're going to start this right now. It's going to be the new tradition. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. All right, Oregon State plus 3.5 at home versus Stanford. I like Oregon State. I love their running back. Give me the Beavers.
Quit looking at my sheet over here.
You're not going to see that far.
And you probably can't read my handwriting either. Oregon State +3 against Stanford. I love this one. I took them last week against Utah and took them the week before that against Oregon. I'm going back to the well. Oregon State has been very good to me. They covered last week against Utah without Jamar Jefferson.
Right.
He was out of that game. Now, they lost their starting quarterback for the year. Backup's not bad. Jefferson's back this week. What has Stanford done?
Nothing. Nothing of note.
Well, they have in the last couple of weeks two wins. I like Oregon State, man. Give me the points.
All right,
that puts you up.
I'll go to the NFL. Colts -3 at the Las Vegas Raiders. I know I'm giving points to the road team, but I like where the Colts are right now.
Raiders are also hard to figure.
They
had
are.
some really good games, really lousy games. Colts have been a hard team for me to pick. I think they're good, and it just so happens that every time I want to recommend them, they just punch me right in the jaw. So I've gotten a little bit gun-shy with them. I'm going to take Auburn -6.5 against Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State is a mirage. I also think that don't lose, Gus, okay? I mean, even if you win, you might get beat. But
Gus was like, shut up.
Thank you, Cade. Very, very good. Auburn has lost to 3 top 5 teams.
Right.
Had the lead going to 4th against Texas A&M last week. I just think they're a lot better here. They could be easily a game or two ahead of where they are.
Right.
Yeah, Auburn against a bad Mississippi State team. The better in the second half of the season.
All right, for my last pick, I'll go Titans and Jaguars under 53. I think it's going to be a sloppy, ugly game. That's it. Kendrick's going to run for a lot of yards and keep the clock churning.
All right, so I am on this game as well. This is another one of those bounce-back theories in the NFL. Good team. We think the Titans are a good team. Did they get embarrassed last week?
Yep.
And not only did they get embarrassed, but they got embarrassed and they had a strong second half. I like the bounce-back theory on teams that I think are good. I mean, this doesn't work for the Jets.
Right.
Okay? But teams I think are good that have a really bad outing are going to have a really good outing the next time. The Jaguars have nothing to play for. They're absolutely terrible. They get the worst defense in the league. I think I hate laying more than a touchdown in the NFL, and I got to do it here. -7.5. Titans. Titans something like 27-7, 27-3, 27-10, somewhere in that area. Titans -7.5. All right. So the 6 packs. I got Arizona State tonight -11, Miami -3, Iowa +2, Oregon State +3, Auburn -6.5, and the Tennessee Titans -7.5. Hester's got Mizzou +14 against Georgia, Michigan State +14.5 against Penn State, La Tech +22 against TCU. We agree on Oregon State +3. Got the Colts -3 against the Raiders, and Titans Jags under 53. And for your next trick, you will pull out another double-digit underdog that is going to win the game straight up.
Minnesota is going to beat Nebraska straight up. That's a 10.5-point spread. Give me the Golden Gophers at Nebraska.
Minnesota, okay, not done bad. I could, okay, sure. Give me. I really shouldn't do this. But give me San Diego State.
Okay.
Against BYU. BYU season came crumbling down last week. San Diego State's not bad.
There you go.
It's a little bit out there. They're 17-point dog, but hey, hope springs eternal.
There you go.
All right. Our picks, as always, are brought to you by Coors Light, the official
Coors
beer
Light here.
of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Ask Us is next. This is Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
The high school football playoffs continue, and we got you covered starting tonight at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High and Brother Martin kick off at 7, and we wrap things up with a full 2 hours of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show at 10 on YouTube, CST, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Time for Ask Us in the Bayou Ford chat. You ready? Of course you are. Ask Hester, while in the NFL on your days off, did you prefer hanging out in San Diego or Denver?
San Diego. Although I love Denver, but it was a lot of the time it was colder weather. And so San Diego, you could go to La Jolla, you could eat at George's right there, on the beach. It was
nobody's going to criticize you for picking San Diego. It's nothing against Denver. Ask us, outside of Tigers, what is the best mascot you have ever heard of? I love this question. Do you have anything? Because I got like 3.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll say the only thing I don't like about Tigers is it's not unique. Okay, and I grew up. My high school was the Tigers. Mm-hmm. LSU is the Tigers. I mean, Go Tigers is just, embedded in my brain. But if I got to go outside of Tigers, I like something that nobody else has. That would be the one thing. So, you know me, I like to play cards. So I love the Evansville Purple Aces.
Okay,
purple.
yeah.
But I also like the UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs.
What?
The Banana Slugs.
The Banana Slugs.
Did you see Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, we have.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was the shirt that Travolta had on,
Okay,
the
yeah,
Banana
okay,
Slug.
yeah, okay.
And I also like the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. You know where Pittsburgh State is?
Kansas.
Thank you. Very good. All right, so those are my three. I like unique, something that nobody else has. So, but Purple Aces, if I had to answer, if I only get one.
All right, I like that one.
I think I caught you off guard here.
What Long Beach State?
Long Beach State is technically the 49ers.
And then they call them the Dirtbags.
They call the baseball team the Dirtbags. I mean, that's official to the university. I think they've got it trademarked. And we've played Long Beach State a number of times in baseball. They give you literature. You can't find 49ers anywhere on it.
Yeah.
They are the Dirtbag. I mean, they wear that like a badge of honor. You will not see on any of their statistics, any of their media handouts or anything like that, you will not see 49ers in. They are the Dirtbags. But technically, they're the 49ers.
You know something I like that's kind of generic? The Wolfpack.
Okay.
I think that's kind of cool.
Wolfpack.
Like the Wolfpack, like together.
Wolfpack's playing tonight. A very good game against San Jose State. The Nevada Wolfpack, not the North Carolina State.
And the Chanticleers, of course.
Of course.
Of Coastal Carolina.
Ask Paul, what gift is number one on your list? I think we caught Paul by surprise here. What gift is number one on your? And he doesn't say whether it's to give or to get. So feel free to freelance here.
So we're building a patio on our back porch.
Okay.
So anything like patio furniture, an outdoor TV.
We should get Paul a lounging chair.
Yeah, we should.
We're gonna all chip in, get you one of those. Ask us, Brother Martin or Catholic High tonight. Cade, this one's for you. Brother Martin or Catholic High?
I'm probably going to go Brother Martin.
They're undefeated, right?
Yep.
Catholic High's got one loss?
Got one loss. They've played well. They played with a young man in the Wildcat last week at quarterback in George Hart, and they did a heck of a job. I just think it's a tough game if I had to pick. I'm going to go Brother Martin.
Okay. Guy that comes in behind us may have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Just guessing.
I think he said by 30.
30.
He did say by 30.
If he gives me Brother Martin in 30, I will be happy to take it on whatever he's willing to bet. Ask us, in honor of all of your new listeners from India, did you enjoy Slumdog Millionaire?
A good movie. Really good movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's good.
I've never seen it.
It's a good movie.
Ask Hanny, are you the biggest Swiftie in the chat? Initial thoughts on Taylor Swift's new album. I have never denied that Taylor Swift is an unbelievably talented performer, and I even like some of her music. I've just, over the years have used that term because she's got so many songs about how many guys have done her dirty that maybe, just maybe it's you. Maybe it's you at times. So anyway, hadn't listened to the new album yet. Ask us, who's the first band or musician you were really into, and do you still like them?
Yeah, mine was Elvis, and yes, obviously, as you can tell by our pink Cadillac here, yes.
One of the first albums I ever got on vinyl when I was a kid was Queen's Greatest Hits, and I can do Queen's Greatest Hits out of my head.
Love Queen.
Okay, and
Love
yes,
Queen,
I still like Queen. Ask us, best Rocky opponent.
Ivan Drago.
Really?
I must break you.
Okay, and look, he
dies.
Great. I'm a Carl Weathers fan because I thought Weathers played the part of Apollo Creed perfect, and he was in 4 of the movies, but they asked that guy to come in and be as close to Muhammad Ali as you could as an antagonist, and he hadn't been an actor for very long.
Right.
When he took that role. He was a football player. He had played for the Raiders, and he had played the Canadian League, and he nailed it. And I thought, there's not many characters in movie history that you can say went from the absolute ultimate antagonist to the good guy in a sequel, and he did it seamlessly. So I got to say Apollo Creed. Ask us. Let's see. Craig Schilling says Hanny's at 503. Jake is 3 games behind, and I trust that
Yeah, that's who takes care of it for us. So yeah.
Ask us, what places have you visited that have exceeded your expectations and which were disappointing?
Exceeded my expectations.
I got. You want to think
Austin,
about this?
Texas.
Exceeded or
no? They lived up to it.
Yeah,
and then some. Austin's a fantastic place to go visit. One that didn't live up to it.
Here's mine. Okay,
Miami
didn't
live up to it for me.
Okay, the one that exceeded my expectations when I had high expectations was the Grand Canyon. I took the what they call the rim tour, which is you get on a plane and you circle and you go down into the canyon, and it is, they say the Grand Canyon is one of the things that doesn't disappoint. It's a breathtaking piece of nature. I mean, just absolutely everything you think about the Grand Canyon, you look at it and go, okay, wow. The one that disappointed me, I had waited for years to make a trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I don't know what I was expecting, but man, I was giddy when I pulled up in the parking lot, and I went by myself. I didn't want to be rushed. I didn't want anybody, let's go look. No, I'll look on my, I've got the whole day.
You made a trip just there for that?
I made the trip. I made the trip to Ohio and Indiana for like 5 other things. And I was by myself on the last day of the trip. I said, I'm going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't want anybody to go with me. I want to go by myself. I want to take my time. I want to go through everything. Don't rush me. I budgeted an entire day, was out in 3 hours. And I read everything I wanted to read, saw everything I wanted to see. I'm like, is this it?
Yeah, I've been there.
I was like, man,
feeling.
I was so disappointed. And like I said, when I came out, it's like, well, what were you expecting? You saw all the bus, you saw all of the, the stuff. I don't know, man. It just seems like
more.
Where's Vince Lombardi's desk? I don't know why, but anyway, it was a little bit disappointing to me. Thanks to everybody for participating. Have a great weekend. Eagle 98.1 game day at 1:00 tomorrow afternoon, leading you up to LSU in Florida. For Cade Wazan, for Paulo O'Neill, for Jacob Hester, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned for AFR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Don't you worry your pretty little mind. People throw rocks and things that shine.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Choose your fighter. Dax.